Okay, this is week 7, Fine Arts. We are introducing the tin whistle and the musical symbols today. So just supplies that you need for today. You need your tin whistle, and I strongly recommend you having a tin whistle. Your tin whistle booklet that we made you. You will need your vocabulary cards and your tin whistle beds, which are provided for you. They're pre-made in your bags, and they'll have each child's name on them as well. And that should be all that you need today besides your binder. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to introduce our vocabulary. We're going to talk about what a tin whistle is, the parts on the tin whistle, and if you don't know what those are, they are in your folder. So this is the cover page of our book, and we will refer to it as the cover page, and page 1 starts right here. So on the cover page, we have all the parts of the tin whistle, so just go over that with them. You would probably want to have them look at their part right here, and they can, you could say, point to the barrel, point to the holes. You can have them point to those. You can also have them point to it on their actual tin whistle. But probably when you hand them their tin whistle, they're going to be dying to play it. So before, I would probably introduce this stuff with the book, the vocabulary, and then say, okay, everybody pull out your tin whistles. And we are going to need to teach them some rules for the tin whistle really quick before we even get started. Even though we're not talking positions yet, I would just say when you as the tutor want them not playing their tin whistle, it's going to be sleeping in bed. So just have them model them how you want it to lay in bed, and that means they're not touching it and they're not playing it. That you don't want them to touch it, move it, anything. It's sleeping there in bed. And until you say, okay, pick up your tin whistle, they're going to leave it right there. And I would just set some expectations really clear about what you want them to do with their tin whistle when you don't want them to play it. After, if that ever becomes a problem and someone just really has a hard time with that, you'd hand them a straw and say, okay, I'm going to hang on to your tin whistle for a little while. Here's a straw. I still want you to follow along with the lesson, but then they cannot make any noise. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but a couple times it has. So we want this to be as positive experience as possible, but we also want everyone in the class to have a really a good time as well. So while you're talking about that, you might have them keep their tin whistle in bed and point to the fipple, point to the holes, and go through that like that. You can also play Simon Says. My kids really liked that last year because it was really fast. Simon Says, point to this. Simon Says, do this. So go over all the parts until they really have that down, everything that's here on the cover page. Then we also talked about that maybe it would be a good idea, they're dying to play it. So after each one of the sections in this lesson, it's kind of wordy. There's a lot of tutor talking. You'll see they're separated into sections like 1, 2, 3. We're saying maybe just after you finish a section, say, okay, now we're going to play our tin whistles for 30 seconds. Play the most beautiful song that you can on it. And some kids may know a song, some kids might just do scales, some might just be, that's fine. Let them go at it. They're dying to play it. So just say, go ahead, pick up your tin whistle, play for 30 seconds. Okay, now put it back in bed and put to sleep and listen to what I have to say. Just that way they're not so antsy and they get to feel like they played their tin whistle today. The next section is going over the vocabulary, cacophony, discord, harmonize, and symphony. And a lot of the kids are going to know what these words mean, but go over the definitions of those. And you're going to have everyone sing together, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And we'll all sing the same song. So it'll sound really pretty, and we'll talk about that's harmonizing, and that's a symphony. And then maybe have a couple kids sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, a couple kids sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, and a couple kids sing Jingle Bells, and all of you sing it at the same time, and that's going to sound terrible. And then talk about that's discord and cacophony, and it sounds terrible. You can also demonstrate that with the tin whistle. Let everybody play softly, just because they won't know fingering or anything. Just blow softly into it, ooh, really sweetly, and you can see how that sounds beautiful, and then let everybody just go at it. It's going to be really clear to them what discord and cacophony is. Anyway, our kids are coming through the back. The next thing, so let them play again because we're done with that section. The next section is about melody, notes, and staff. We're going to introduce that to the kids, which is on page, there's a picture of a staff right here on page 2. So you can show them what a staff is, and you can show them how the different notes are played on the tin whistle. They're going to be learning that. So if you want them to play a game, there's a melody direction game. So we're going to show different melody parts, like back here on page 13. You're going to see some music printed towards the back, and you can use that as a reference. You don't have to be searching around for it. It's right here in your booklet. And you're going to say things like, do you see the notes going up or down? Are they staying the same? We're going to talk through that and talk about melody, and that's all in here in your script, so you'll know what to do for that. Then have the kids play again for a couple seconds, and then put the tin whistles back to bed. Then we're going to talk to the kids about the rules, or when you're in a music class or in a band or a symphony, how you would work together to make beautiful music. And we can most of them have been to a symphony or some place where they hear people playing music all together. So we're going to talk to them how they do that. Someone stands up front and conducts like this. That person's name is a conductor, and so you're going to tell the kids that you are the conductor and they are going to be the musicians. And as musicians, we have very important rules to follow so that it can sound really well and we can work together. So as the conductor, you're going to tell them what to do, and they're going to listen. So you're going to say, these are the different positions that we're going to use for tin whistle. We are going to have a rest. That's with our left hand. They say you can rest it in your arm like this. We're going to rest ours in our bed. I just think for kids that'll be easier. We have chin position. That's when it sits on their chin like this. We have mouth position where it's in their mouth. And then we have like playing position. And you want to tell them about the left hand being on top. And we'll get to more of that as we go along, but most of the little kids aren't going to remember their left hand, so we have a little sticker in your kit, and you can just put it on their left hand so they remember which one it is. Also remember, if you're sitting across from them, they will be looking at the opposite hand. So you're going to have to show them that, yes, this is Mrs. Nelson's left hand, because I'm turning the same way as you now. So just go over that, because I had kids who were arguing with me last year about, no, it's not the same as yours, Mrs. Nelson. So make sure we go over the left hand is on top and show them how they're going to hold their fingers. And it's really important with tin whistle that they know the softer you blow, soft, even tone, the better it's going to sound. And also that we want to completely cover the holes. If they hear squeaking sounds, it may be because they're just covering just part of the hole. So we tell them when they practice at home to cover the entire hole with their finger as flat as they can. So the thumb is supporting it on the back and the fingers are completely filling the holes in front. So you're going to have a rounded finger. And then your left hand will go underneath, and your right hand, will be underneath, and your thumb will be what's supporting your tin whistle. So if you're not playing it, if you're not playing any, you're going to be holding it like this with your pointer finger and your thumb on top, and your thumb on the bottom supporting it. That's if you're not covering any holes, okay? And then maybe just have them practice blowing really loud and see how that sounds, like really hard, like a big, huge breath. And then have them practice not covering any holes, just blowing softly, and show them that sounds so much better. So you'll do that so they'll get another chance to touch it and hold it again. Then we're going to talk about some techniques. It'll tell you in here what to do. Think about when you're doing your puffs that it sounds like tut, 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 tut. So your tongue is making the small puffs of air, and you're blowing in. And then also today we're supposed to get through the note names and the finger codes. There's a lot to cover on the first day, so if you just introduce it and show them this on page 2, that if all the notes are covered, you have D, and then if just 5 are covered, you have E, F sharp, 4, and so on and so forth on here. They're gonna, if they've never seen this before, they're gonna be saying, what? And that's okay, we're gonna go over this again and again. But for the kids who remember from previous years, they're gonna get it and know what you're doing. So that's what we're supposed to get through on week 7. Do not stress if you don't get through all of that, because it will come back around in weeks 8 and 9.